Sustained winds for Hurricane Helene are 110 miles per hour. That means that it's just 1 mile per hour short of becoming a Category 3 major hurricane. The big bands of rain and gusty winds are going to be in what we call the eye wall. That's what's Mayo and Perry is under right now, but absolutely want to make sure that anyone in this path is making sure that they get inside, away from windows on the lowest level in the most interior part of your home. Even though you're not included in this exact tornado warning, I want you to get inside and treat it like you are. It gets warm and muggy. It's like gasoline to a car. That's what fuels these showers and thunderstorms. Those two little dots that I circled for you there, those do indicate that there is some debris getting lofted upwards, which does tell us that there are 2 tornadoes on the ground. If you follow me real quick, I want you to look off to my right here. A little bit of this debris, that's the roof from a building that's all the way over there. The winds carried all the way here. There's another building back behind some of those big trucks. That one, the entire siding, the wall got ripped off. And I'll tell you what, I spoke to a gentleman. He was inside of that building. He heard the roar of the tornado, that classic sound of like a freight train coming at you. I don't want you to focus too much on exactly where it's making landfall, rather what the storm itself looks like, all right? Because whether it decides to make landfall near Keaton Beach in Taylor County or in Wakulla County, it's still a giant storm. Let's say there's some folks watching right now that still for some reason are by the coast in some of those storm surge prone areas. You've got about maybe a couple more hours. Get on out. It's not something that you're going to want to be there for. Holding this umbrella up is my guide to tell you when I can't do it anymore, that means you can't be on the roadways anymore. It will become unsafe. What you're going to notice is Debbie does not want to move, all right? Unfortunately, it's in no rush to get out of our area. That means it's going to continue to dump a lot of rainfall over the next several hours. This is in Suwannee County. Well, you can see certainly the winds throwing that water down the roadways. What I really like to see is that no one is out there right now. That is great news. The Tallahassee airport recorded a wind gust of 67 miles per hour. That is certainly enough to bring down those trees, cause the power outages. A good way I like to think about tornado watches, it's more of like a heads up. Hey, we've got the ingredients in the atmosphere to see a couple potential tornadoes. They aren't happening right now, but we have to stay weather aware in case a couple pop up. These red areas right here, winds moving away from the radar site at the Tallahassee airport. These green colors are winds moving towards the radar site. When you see the reds and the greens get right next to each other close together, that means that the thunderstorm is rotating, and that means that a tornado is either on the ground or it could get on the ground at any moment, and that's why that warning is in place. That's going to be a level 3 out of 5 risk on the severe weather scale. The higher the number, closer to 5, the worse the weather is going to be, the more of those bad storms you see. It's pretty simple today. You know, cold is the biggest story. The good news is there's going to be lots of sunshine out there. Okay. So the temperatures are going to warm up pretty quickly. I think it's going to make for a beautiful day if you want to get out there and enjoy the end of this holiday weekend. It's a 70s party across the Big Bend in South Georgia this morning. Bring out the disco ball. 74 in Bainbridge, 75 in Quincy. I got 4 words for you. Cougars, Raiders, Friday night. Welcome to Gene Cox Stadium. It's a beautiful day here in Tallahassee. It's a little bit on the warm side, but it's August, so we'll take that. I see sunshine. That means it is go time here in just a couple of hours. It's cloudy this morning. Don't let that fool you. It's not going to stay this way all day. By the time we get to later this morning, I see more sunshine and more of those blue skies as well. I think this could be win number 2 for the Seminoles. Sunny skies, beautiful conditions for that 1:30 p.m. kickoff. How about the Florida Classic for the Rattlers today in Orlando at 3:30 p.m. Beautiful skies down in Central Florida as well. Grab the doggy umbrella and rain jacket today. It's going to be a wet and windy one. That's why I've got the yellow paw pads up and down the board. In some spots this morning, we are seeing some heavier rain, while in other spots, it's just the light stuff, all right? We'll check in on that radar picture. First things first, there is going to be a low-end risk for severe weather today. The higher risk is going to be for spots like South Florida. They're under that slight. It's a 2 out of 5 risk. About half of our area is under that marginal 1 out of 5. It's the lowest risk. Some things that we just need to keep an eye out for, and especially that I'll keep an eye out for you throughout the day today. A couple storms could develop probably around midday, early this afternoon. They could have some stronger winds. They could have some small hail. And with the setup we have, we're not going to rule out the chance for a brief tornado, although all these things a little bit more on the unlikely side. We'll keep a really close eye on it for you. Like I said, South Florida, a little bit of a higher risk for severe weather. There's actually a tornado watch in place for them. For us, we're kind of on the northern side of this area of low pressure, which is generally where we see just the rain and the wind, which is pretty much what we're going to be seeing throughout the day today. So no watches, no warnings for us. Yeah, we've got a lot of rain out there. It's all surging up from the Gulf, moving from the south towards the north. All of that green, that's the light stuff, but these yellows and some of these oranges, especially the stuff moving inland right now into Wakulla County, that's some of that heavier rainfall that we just heard over here in northeast Tallahassee. Still, I don't see any thunderstorms, nothing too concerning for the time being, but there's still a lot of rain left to go. Look at all this from coming off the Gulf. That's going to continue surging inland over the next several hours. Here's your futurecast. Let's go hour by hour. This first morning bout of rain will continue through about 10, 11 a.m. Then we could see some breaks in the action. Periods of rain throughout the day today. That means it's not raining everywhere all day at the same time. As we head towards midday, early this afternoon, see these little individual cells that pop up? Those are the ones that we'll keep a little bit of a closer eye on. Those are the ones that could get a little bit stronger out there. But that big blob of rain really starts to move northward, especially by later this afternoon into this evening. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we saw some glimpses of sunshine by the time we get to around sunset later tonight. Overnight tonight, not much going on. Maybe a few showers here and there. A few showers continue as we head into Monday morning. There will be some fog out there as well. By the time we get to later Monday, yeah, I think most of that rain will have dissipated, and then we'll be saying hello to the cooler and drier air. That's going to start to filter in as soon as Monday night. That same area of low pressure that I talked about that's bringing us all the rain, it's going to kind of make its way across the state of Florida, and then it's going to pool in all of this cool, dry air from our north. And by the time you wake up Tuesday morning, I bet you we're going to be seeing lots of sunshine and blue skies out there. It's going to look like it did on Saturday. Here's your winds. It's going to be breezy out there, perhaps windy at times. Winds out of the east around 10 to 15 miles per hour right now. Wind gusts are up to 20 miles per hour. These wind gusts could get as high as 30 to 35 miles per hour by the time we get to around midday today. So like we said, if you have any light stuff outside that's not secure, that normally gets knocked over or blows around, I'd go ahead and bring that inside, but the heavier stuff should be good to go. Temperatures outside your door this morning, mainly in the low to mid 50s out there. They're going to warm up to around the mid 60s this afternoon. And by the time you wake up Monday morning, it'll be a little bit more on the chilly side. A lot of us in the mid to upper 40s. Not going to be a good day out there on the water. We've got the gale warning. There's lots of rain as well. And here's your 7-day forecast. Once we get past this little bout of nasty weather, by Tuesday and Wednesday, sunshine, much cooler. Lows back down into the mid to upper 30s. And I see the return of some 70s by the time we get to the end of this week.